All right. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you all had a good Thanksgiving holiday last week and are ready to really wrap things up here in 2025 and head into 2026. So, first assessment workshop for my home office. So, again, I know that we've had some firsts over the last couple of webinars. The last Success Spotlight was done from California. So, we're mixing it up a little bit and keeping things a little bit fresh. So, nonetheless, again, hope you're doing well. Of course, my name is Noel Dude. I'm the Client Experience Manager for IdealTraits, helping you with really all things that you could be enduring as a part of your experience when utilizing, of course, the IdealTraits system. So today, I know for the last 9 assessment workshops, of course, heavily focused on, taking a look at assessment results and maximizing your IdealTraits accounts. We're going to get a little bit more refined for this session. So this one will probably run for 30, 40 minutes, depending on how many questions you guys have. And of course, the more questions, the better. Please feel free to use the Q&A section, because I know that for each and every one of you that are on here, you're all experiencing a little bit something different with your assessment completion. So when we consider some of the things that, of course, could be impacting that, the first generally to consider is going to be your effective communication and timing, right? So really, we're going to go through the IdealTraits system. So as we did last month when we talked about getting the most out of your IdealTraits account, some of these things are going to be included from that, but again, in a little bit more of a refined sense. So with this, what I would recommend is that you do, if you do have the opportunity to have a second screen, is that you do pull up that second screen. So then you're able to, and log into your IdealTraits account, of course. So then you're able to follow along as we start putting these things into place. So then you don't attend and be like, okay, perfect, I got to do that. And then a number of different things get in the way. And then unfortunately, it just falls to the wayside. These things happen. It's okay, right? But what we want to do is, of course, maximize this time. Consider it more of an interactive session in the way that you're going to be able to actually put things together as we go through it, okay? So again, what we're going to focus on here is all about assessment completion rate. So we're going to talk about communication with candidates, how to get more people to complete it. And then if you guys do want, based on the questions that we receive, we can take a look at some specific assessments too as well. If you're looking for maybe a persistent or a networker, or you have some questions about any type of specific personality for the role that you're hiring for. So I might ask you for some more context with that question. So just be prepared for that. But nonetheless, what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and share my screen. So just give me a moment, and we'll pull into IdealTraits. So as I mentioned, I recommend that you do the same. So as I pull this up, you should now be seeing my IdealTraits account. I had it pulled up to workflows already, but I suppose we can start in candidates. So of course, once you log into your IdealTraits account, this is the one that I use for any positions that I might be hiring for at IdealTraits across the several different departments. But when you first log in, of course, you're going to be sent to the main candidate screen, okay? The good news about the stages part is, as you all have most likely already noticed, it's going to differentiate, those who have not completed the assessment versus those that have, okay? If you go to your dashboard, you're going to be able to see your assessment completion rate, okay? So dashboard here in the top left-hand corner, and then you can take a look at your completion rate, all right? So ours is about 52% of the folks completing the assessment, which is pretty good. I mean, you receive 200 resumes, then you get 100 candidates to review from. That's a good number, right? It's a healthy number that gives you some options. Now, if you're maybe at like 40 or 30 or 20 or 10, right? Really anything that's below sort of 45 to 50, you're below the average, okay? So at that point, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do things to, of course, boost it, which is most likely why you all are here. Sorry, I was wondering if the sun was getting on my face. Hold on one second. Let me close this blind. We'll flip it the other way. A little bit abnormal for a webinar, but nonetheless, there we go, okay? So 50%, 45 and up, you're doing pretty good with your assessment completion rate. So you've most likely got some good things that are established in there. And we might want to make some tweaks or add some things in there because it could always be better. But if you're looking at your dashboard right now and you're seeing your assessment completion rate and it's below 40% or it's at 40% or lower, then we definitely have to do some things in order to boost those numbers up, okay? And again, I'm sure that that's what brings you guys here today, all right? Now, if your questions or maybe your issues are with I'm not getting enough candidates, then that's a whole different conversation altogether. What I would recommend is that you review maybe last month's assessment workshop that talks about maximizing your account and helping you get in front of more candidates, or just at full transparency, my simplest thing would be, hey, reach out to our support team. They'll take a look at your job ad. And if those tweaks still aren't moving the needle for you, then consider investing into your job ad a little bit more with a sponsorship. Okay. Indeed has a really good program that if you've never created an Indeed account before, you can get $100 credit to use towards your job ad. That will get applicants flooding in the door a little bit faster. Okay. But if you've created an Indeed account before, you know that they really are a powerhouse when they come to bringing applications to your doorstep. So consider sponsoring. Again, all of our team is incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to talking about this, right? And the assessment is such a valuable resource that I'm so glad you all have come here to be like, I need to get more people completing it, which is great. However, I do know that the first step is getting applicants, right? Then it is, okay, let's focus on how more applicants can complete it. So sorry, I'm sort of rambling here. The blinds kind of caught me off guard, but nonetheless, again, assessment completion, if you're looking at your dashboard, top left corner, and you see below really 40% here, we're going to work to fix that today. So I appreciate you for joining. So we'll go back to the candidate screen. So a lot of you are most likely in your hiring process now. So you should very easily see assessment versus assessment complete. Now, a really cool thing that you can do, of course, as a part of this process is if you do ever want to resend the assessment. So I guess I'll go to an archived candidate here. If you do ever want to resend an assessment, right, and you want to drive sort of that traffic in that sense, you can go to the candidate screen. So you see the candidates that are here under result. If they show a result, great, then they completed it, obviously. If they haven't, you'll see sort of this gray button with the IdealTraits logo. As I hover over that, you're able to see that it says send again. So if you just simply click that button, it will resend the assessment to that particular candidate. Okay, maybe they didn't see it. Maybe you just want to send it again to see if you can get them to complete it, all of these different things. Nonetheless, use that to your advantage. You can resend it directly through here. But in addition to that too, as well, a lot of folks are unaware of this part of it, which is that when someone applies to your job ad, the assessment is automatically sent to the candidate. So if you've never gone through and like applied to your own job, I would recommend that you do that through the unique ad link so that you can see how it works. But when you submit your name, email, phone number, resume, you're then immediately redirected. So the screen literally changes and shows them this is the assessment, it's time to complete it. Now, candidates are busy these days and they're doing a multitude of different things, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe they're not looking to complete the assessment now. So then at that point, the system is going to send reminders. The reminders get sent out 24, 48, and 72 hours after applying if they have not completed the assessment. So again, assessment gets immediately sent to them. I submit my application, I immediately get sent the assessment, and then the reminder is sent 24, 48, and 72 hours. However, these things are happening within all of your accounts today. And some of you are like, well, I'm still only getting 20% completion. That's fine. That's why we're here, because we're going to work to fix that. Okay. So a lot of it can just stem in communication. So as a platinum partner of Indeed, IdealTraits has the luxury of being able to attend specific partnership meetings and webinars with Indeed. They're, of course, the largest job board in the world. So the information that we receive from them is very beneficial to being able to help you all. Now, one of the things that was discussed on that meeting is that when candidates are applying, if you are communicating with a candidate within the first minute of them submitting their application, your connection rate with them is 85%. Okay. Now, if you wait 14 minutes and get to the 15-minute mark, I should have asked this question because I'd be surprised to hear what you all say. But if you wait until the 15-minute mark, at that point, your connection rate goes from 85% to 35%. Okay, so you drop 50% in your chance of communicating with the candidate if you just wait 15 minutes. Right now, think about it as you're going about your process today. How long, and be honest with yourself, how long are you waiting to engage with a candidate? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Is it 72? Is it a week? Right? Again, be honest with yourself, because that's going to help you truly be able to build out a better process. And I'm going to help you. So now that we've talked about that, we sort of set the grounds, okay? 85% to 35%. So that means that we need to facilitate communication quickly. Now, you might say to me, well, Nolan, I don't have the ability to just sit by my IdealTraits account all day and just wait for candidates to come in and contact them immediately. Totally understand, right? That's why, one, the assessment gets sent out automatically because that's technically communication on your behalf as the next step in the process. But candidates these days want to hear from you. They don't want to just get some automated assessment that then gets sent to them. They also want to hear from you alongside of it, right? But how can we do that, and how can we do it most effectively? Okay. The answer to me, and this is what, when I talk to a lot of the agencies that are in and businesses that are in similar positions to you all, the feedback that they give to me is the workflows is the difference maker. Okay. Because they're able to capture candidates' attention and go through that process very quickly. So automated workflows. The good news is that all of you, no matter what type of business you are, or no matter what type of situation you're in with your hiring, you all have access to creating an automated workflow, at least one. Okay. So if you go into your account, again, the way that I got here, I should talk you through this, is through the settings. You might have to scroll down a little bit, and then you'll see automated workflows. When you click that, it's going to take you to this screen. You may have some templates that are in there, especially if you're a newer client. That's something that we did add for folks that haven't used automated workflows yet, is adding some templates in there so you could get a gist of how it works. However, I'm also going to walk you through it here today too as well. Now, the workflows, the way that it works is, again, every one of you gets at least one free workflow. As you can see with my IdealTraits account, of course, I'm in the enterprise plan, which means I can create up to 5 workflows. So we'll talk about why you need to be able to create more than one, and why it would behoove you to, of course, take advantage of that and consider upgrading it. Because again, when you consider how much time you have to invest into your recruiting process, upgrading your workflows can be a very inexpensive solution to be able to get more candidates to complete the assessment. But then in addition to that, just improve the candidate experience in general, which will help you become a better place to work. So automated workflows, let's dive in. In simple terms, I guess if I backtrack a little bit after saying, let's get into it. In simple terms, this is a way for you to be able to automate tasks, right? Automated tasks that generally you would have to take care of manually. So a lot of you are independent business owners that are doing all the different things that your business, of course, needs. But then in addition to that, you're also responsible for hiring. Okay. We do also have a nice Help Center article here that will help you break it down further. But when I click the Add New button in my top right-hand corner, I am then taken to this workflow screen to where I can now start building it out. So if we think about it from a candidate perspective, okay, you as the business owner have created the job ad and you have posted it. The next thing that happens is candidates begin to apply. So if we think about it from the candidate perspective, we know based off of the research that is out there, 85% to 35% based on 1 minute to 15 minutes, we need to communicate with these candidates very quickly. And we need to make sure that the language that we're using in terms of what we're saying within our communication is attractive and it solicits engagement. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this all. Of course, you don't really have a way of answering me, so just think about it in your offices. If I were to send you a text and an email right now, which one are you looking at first? Some of you in that split second thought text message. Other half of you probably said email. Okay. That means that it's important for us to meet the candidates where they're at. Some of the candidates prefer to be texted. Some of the candidates prefer to be emailed. Okay. That's why for this workflow, what we're going to do is we're going to create a text, because a lot of you already have the ability to send emails. You already have these things happening in the background. For instance, the assessment reminders are again being sent via email. However, if you want to send a custom email template, then feel free to create your workflow for that. But on this side, what we're going to create is a text message. More candidates are applying for jobs today on their mobile device than they are from a computer. That means that they can submit their application on their phone and within seconds receive a text message from you with an engaging and welcoming message that will help them be like, oh, cool, I just got a text from Nolan. Oh, cool, now I see the assessment. Let me go through and complete this, because you have made them aware. All right, so we're going to create a text example here, and I'll keep these workflows open. So then if any of you guys want a screenshot of it, so then you can build it yourself. If you're not building now, I'd be happy to supply you with it, or I could just literally help you myself if you want to hop on a call. But nonetheless, trigger. So what's going to be our trigger? This is, of course, triggered by this event, right? So as you can see through this list, there's a number of different things. It could be the new candidate applies, an assessment is completed, the candidate stage changes, the video interview invitation is sent, right? All of these different things. Now, for this particular webinar, what we're looking to do is get more candidates to complete the assessment. So what we're going to do is our trigger is going to be when a new candidate applies. We wouldn't want to do, obviously, when the assessment is completed, because then we're only capturing those candidates that have taken the initiative to do the next step. Okay. If they're left to their own devices, you're going to continue to see that 30 to 20% completion rate. All right. So new candidate applies. That's what we're going to start with. Now, the next option here is we have some things that we can work with. So we can add an action, like send a text message or send an email or send the video interview. We can add a filter, right? We can filter on a number of different things. A lot of you are most likely have seen this before, but you can filter by position. You can filter by pre-qualifying score, company location, applicant history, or AI resume match score. That's a new thing that product team has just added recently. If you haven't checked that out within a candidate profile, I highly recommend that you do because it's super cool. But nonetheless, for this example, we're not really going to need a filter, so we're going to delete that. A delay. I've heard some people think that this is very beneficial if you want to have the system wait 30 minutes, 3 hours, or a day to send out any type of correspondence. Makes you seem potentially like less like a robot or less automated. That's totally fine. But again, as we know that Indeed statistic, 85 versus 35 is the matter of 15 minutes. So waiting 30 minutes could maybe perpetuate the same problem that you're having now. However, you are now adding additional steps in there. So you're at least increasing your engagement with the candidates. But again, this is so important because you can't just let the candidates sit there for however long they're sitting there now. And there, of course, is the old philosophy where it's like, well, if they don't complete the assessment, then I don't want them. Could be true, right? But at least create some things there to where you're facilitating communication to where then if you're sending out this text message that you're not having to do manually and they're still not following instructions, then yes, I would recommend, you have a point there because they're not following simple instruction. So what we're going to do now, so when a new candidate applies, we're going to add the action, right? So what is going to happen when this new candidate applies? What I'm going to do is have them send a SMS text message, okay? Now, I do have some conversation starters here. So what I would recommend doing is reading through these to see if any of them apply for you. But I do believe that, there should be some personalization here. Now, this isn't overly difficult. So you have the ability to, of course, create some things here. I don't know why it's not letting me create it. Let me refresh real quick. But you do have the opportunity to, of course, add this in yourself, right? So we'll go back to SMS text messaging. We'll click into the box, and here we go. We can start typing. So we're going to do, hey, we're going to insert the variable of first name. Okay, so this is going to auto-populate the first name of the candidate when you're sending out the text messages. So, hey, first name, thank you for applying to the Duda agency. We'll say that it's an insurance office. Really look forward to chatting with you soon. But please take 15 to 20 minutes to complete the personality assessment that can be found can be found in your email as the next step. Talk to you soon. Okay. You can create all these different things, right? Again, that took me probably 90 seconds with a couple of typos in there too as well that I had to fix. But nonetheless, when a new candidate applies, we're going to send a text message immediately that says, hey, first name, thank you for applying to the Duda agency. Really look forward to chatting with you soon. Please take 15 to 20 minutes to complete the personality assessment that can be found in your email as the next step. Talk to you soon. Okay. You can say all these different things. I've seen agencies say, hey, first name, this is Nolan from the Duda agency. Really excited to talk, or whatever you want to do there, right? But you can add in your own name. You can add in some flair in there too as well. You can not talk about how long the assessment takes. Again, get creative here. That's why we have conversation starters, or you can use your ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using to create a welcoming response for you, right? Or welcoming text for you to initially be sent out. So once we do that, we have created our first workflow, and here it is, okay? So we've gotten it sent up, and then now, of course, we're getting some action in terms of the candidates are now receiving some information from us immediately once they apply. So again, to sort of put it in perspective, they go to Indeed, they apply to your job or ZipRecruiter or whatever job board it's on, LinkedIn maybe. They apply, they're on their phone, they submitted their application, they're getting redirected to the assessment, and they're receiving a text message from you, okay? That's going to create a lot of engagement. Now, let's say you're looking to build another workflow to maybe send out an email, okay? And you can do this for a number of different things. So you could say when a new candidate applies, and you could do a filter, and you could do it based off of position. You could do it off of AI resume match, company location, maybe pre-qualifying score. Maybe you're looking for someone who's licensed and experienced and bilingual. So if they meet that pre-qualifying score, then you really want to go after them. Again, you can set up all of these different things for all these different situations. But again, what we're going to do is when a new candidate applies, we're also going to send them an email. Okay. So we're going to go up here and we're going to say send them an email, and then we can select from the email that we would like. So you can literally go in here and then click incomplete assessment, or you can do assessment next steps, whichever one you want to do, right? You could say, thank you for your interest in applying to the position opportunity. We pride ourselves in hiring the absolute best fit for our company. So we're inviting you to continue the application process. The next step is for you to finish the online assessment. This will take 15 to 35 minutes. Use the link and log in the information to start the assessment. Okay, right? And then boom, we just select this email. There it is. And then we can go ahead and activate the workflow. Okay, so now when candidates, of course, submit their application, right? They are then now receiving this email. Oh, I got to create a name for this email example. Sorry. They're now receiving the email and the text from us immediately. Now, some of you would, obviously be like, oh, should I be calling too as well? Not a bad idea, right? But of course, calling is going to take a lot of manual effort. There isn't a way to automate the call. So at that point, what you're looking to do is, again, facilitate this communication. You could do it directly through the automated workflows. All of you within your account have the ability to, of course, create at least one. But if you're looking to, of course, create more, and you want to do more beyond creating or having them complete the assessment, then you can, of course, do that too as well, right? Because once they've completed the assessment, you're then going to want to have communication be sent out to them, right? Again, you can create a workflow. I guess we could just do an example real quick. Assessment complete example. So what we're going to do is when a assessment is completed, this is where I see the filtering come up the most, guys, because you can add in the filter that can be for the specific assessment result. All right. So then what you're able to do when an assessment is completed, you can do personality result. And then if you're hiring for sales, as we've talked about in past assessment workshops, you're really going to want to narrow down to the closer. Okay. You're going to want to narrow down to the sales leader, the competitor. You're going to want to be careful with the competitor, though, because you want it to be high motivation and drive. So if that motivation and drive score is not over 60, then be careful. The salesperson, and of course, the fan favorite within the Ideal Traits community is going to be our persistent. Okay. So that's what you're looking for if you're looking for the sales. So then you can have the assessment be completed. The personality result is one of these five, right? The 5 sales personalities. And then you're able to add an action that can be another text message, maybe the video interview, right? Or you can add a star ranking for your organizational purposes, or maybe change the stage to be like Nolan needs to call. Whatever you want to do, however you want your process to work. But generally, within the recruiting process, I recommend, having as much communication as possible, because if you have a bunch of steps in your hiring process, but there isn't communication that's taking place alongside them, you're going to see a low interaction rate. Okay. So again, text message or email, or even the video interview, whatever works best. But you don't really want to just send out the video interview without having any type of communication, because a lot of people are going to be confused on what it is. All right. So text message or email would be a good fit for the next one. Now, for those of you that are hiring for your customer service folks, all right, you can look at things like knowledgeable, nurture, perfectionist, planner, organizer, as well. I mean, networkers sometimes will fall into that category, but generally I'd probably recommend the independent. All right. So you've got those 6 service-based personalities. All right. So you've got your knowledgeable, your nurturer, your perfectionist, your planner, your independent, and your organizer. And then at this point, if you're hiring for customer service, then you can have a text message or an email be sent out to those people directly. So then you're facilitating communication. So as you guys can see, all this can be done within just this automated workflow section. You don't need to do anything crazy here. You go into automated workflows, you create the workflow that you're looking to do. If you want to create more, you upgrade that subscription. And then at that point, you're then able to create the workflow to facilitate communication. Because as of right now, you've got that low completion rate. So what can we do to, of course, facilitate an increase? Now, I'm going to move away from the workflows for a second, but I want to check to see, or I guess I'll check to see after if you guys have any questions. But I'm going to go back to the jobs tab because I want to show you guys a pre-qualifying question that you can use that I find is very helpful. So I have a job ad that's just one that I've used in the past. So I'm going to go in and edit it. It should all be complete, so we can bypass that pretty quickly. and get to our pre-qualifying questions. It might even already be on here. No, it's not. All right. So if you go to your pre-qualifying question section, okay, this is after you've started to put the job ad together, you've got everything set up, you're good to go, you get launched into this screen. These are questions that candidates are required to answer before submitting their application. So again, if you're looking for some sort of requirements around the role, you can use AI to create these questions that'll pull from your requirements in your job ad, or of course you can use from the templates. Now, what I'm going to recommend here is that you go within your templates, and I believe it's in availability. Actually, it might not be. Oh yeah, right here. Perfect. So it's in availability. So if you click add new templates and then go to availability, it's going to be this question right here. Okay, this is my favorite question. All right, and you can insert this into your job ad. So depending on what you're looking to hire for, if there isn't a lot of requirements that you have with it, or even so with the AI resume match nowadays, the AI resume match is going to take your requirements in your job ad against that person's resume. So you're going to see how they line up for the role already based off of the resume that they submit. So pre-qualifying questions are great, and you should use all 5. But if you want to be super consolidated with your approach, this is a really good question for you to use. Okay. Something like preferred contact method, you're like, no, that's like the easiest question of all time, and it's not that complex. It's like, yeah, the things that are going to help you the most do not need to be that complex, okay? Because what you're going to be able to get from this information is going to be super beneficial, because a candidate is going to submit their application and you're going to be like, this is the best candidate in the world. And you're just going to keep emailing them and emailing them and emailing them. And then you're going to wonder why they're not replying. And it's because the preferred contact method is for you to just pick up the phone and call them, because they don't really check their email that much. Yeah, all right, you could argue shame on them for not checking their email, but that's not the point, right? So at this stage, asking this question is very simple. I understand that, and it's a very easy thing for you to put into your job ad really today. But what you're going to be able to do from this is get information on the candidate on how you should be communicating with them. So then, once you have the job ad posted, candidates are applying, you're getting information such as this, so you know where you need to contact them at. But then in addition to that, as soon as they apply, the assessment is sent to them, or they're redirected to the screen. Then they also receive an email from you, and they also receive a text message thanking them for applying. Okay. You may not need to do the email and the text message. I would recommend doing the assessment and the text message at the first step. And then at that point, you of course can call them too as well. Right. But again, if you've received, let's say, 30 applicants in the last 30 days and your assessment completion rate is 20%, imagine what would happen if your assessment completion rate went from 20% to 50 or 60. Think about the options of candidates that you would have to consider. Think about how much quicker your hiring process would go, because you wouldn't have to wait month after month after month to find these candidates. Of course, there's no guarantee in that. It's all about what comes through at that point in time. But in addition to that too as well, you're able to up your choice of candidates because you have more to consider from, and then you're able to, of course, take action on that. All right. So again, this is a really easy thing that you can do and that you can add in that can really help you understand where you need to be at in terms of communicating with candidates. All right. So again, pretty much all we focused on here is the workflows. Now, if you're in your package and you're like, Nolan, I don't have the texting, or Nolan, I only have the ability to create one workflow, I understand. Okay. And I know that that can be like, oh, okay, I got to go in and do more here. Yeah. Right. If you want the results to increase in terms of your assessment completion rate, the texting and the automated workflows will absolutely help you. It will. Okay. I use them myself, and so do so many agents that I work with that have been able to increase their assessment completion rate. I assure you that using the automated workflows will make it way less strenuous in terms of the time that you'll have to invest into your hiring, but then you'll also see better results from it too as well. Now, something that's important to note as well, because we're on the topic of assessment completion rate, is the virtual hiring assistant program. Now, most of you have already probably heard of this before, but I do highly encourage that you check it out, because the virtual hiring assistant program, you don't have to do any of this. Okay. They'll create the job ads, they'll call your candidates, they'll email your candidates, and they'll text your candidates. They'll get them to complete the assessment, and they'll get them to complete the video interview. And the kicker is they work up to 250 candidates for you a month. That's a ton of candidates, right? So I know that the Success Spotlight guest for December is Jeff Wallace. He's an Allstate agent in Kentucky. In the month of November, he hired 4 people through the virtual hiring assistant program. So if you're looking to, take yourself out of your hiring, invest back into your business, while also obviously having us handle those things for you, it's a really good program to take a look at. But automated workflows is a really good thing that you can start with to see how that changes the results that you get. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead at this point, unshare my screen and come back to you all and see if we've got some questions. Oh, you guys are, Eric, golf stuff. You must think you're a good golfer. Eric, it's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I love following on Facebook about all the stuff that you're doing with the cards, man. I hope you're doing good. And give me a call sometime, man. I'd love to catch up. But yes, I do. My dad made these for me. And then this is my plaque from when I played collegiately at Adrian College, if any of you are familiar. And David, you're going so fast. Yeah. I've had, okay. I don't see completion rate. Is it some days at times? Okay, perfect. David, it looks like you got a number of questions here. I'll reach out to you after this so we can set up a personal consultation and we can go through everything together. Seems like I was going a little fast, which I understand. Trying to cram as much as I can into this. But the good news is that I can reach out to you after and we'll schedule some time to work independently together so I can get you help because it looks like you got a couple of different things that you could use some help on. But outside of that, all right. Any other questions or anything? It doesn't look like it. So yeah, again, apologize guys if I was going a little too fast. I try to make sure that I can provide as much education in the 30 to 45 minutes as possible. So I'll of course, take your feedback, of course, under consideration and make sure that I can give you as much content as possible. So again, hope you guys all had a good Thanksgiving last week and hope you're ready to end December strong and looking to end, of course, 2025 strong too as well and head into 2026 with some new employees in your office and, of course, some new improvements to your IdealTraits account too as well. So if there's anything that I can do for you, please feel free to reach out to me. I am at your disposal, and that's why my job exists. But again, appreciate you all for coming out. Let me know if you need anything. Feel free to just call us directly or chat in or email us, me or the team. We're always happy to help you out. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.